The secret to getting ahead is getting started. History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. A clear conscience is the sure sign of a bad memory. Get your facts first, and then you can distort them as much as you please. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. If animals could speak, the dog would be a blundering, outspoken fellow, but the cat would have the rare grace of never saying a word too much. I haven't any right to criticize books, and I don't do it except when I hate them. I often want to criticize Jane Austen, but her books madden me so that I can't conceal my frenzy from the reader, and therefore I have to stop every time I begin. Every time I read Pride and Prejudice I want to dig her up and beat her over the skull with her own shin bone. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead. A banker is a fellow who lends you his umbrella when the sun is shining, but wants it back the minute it begins to rain. Out of all the things I have lost, I miss my mind the most. April 1st. This is the day upon which we are reminded of what we are on the other 364. Never argue with stupid people, they will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. I have found out that there ain't no surer way to find out whether you like people or hate them than to travel with them. To get the full value of joy you must have someone to divide it with. When angry, count 4. When very angry, swear. Of all the animals, man is the only one that is cruel. He is the only one that inflicts pain for the pleasure of doing it. Heaven goes by favor. If it went by merit, you would stay out and your dog would go in. Any emotion, if it is sincere, is involuntary. I must have a prodigious amount of mind, it takes me as much as a week, sometimes, to make it up. It is curious that physical courage should be so common in the world and moral courage so rare. After all these years, I see that I was mistaken about even the beginning. It is better to live outside the garden with her than inside it without her. Anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. When we remember we are all mad, the mysteries disappear and life stands explained. The human race has only one really effective weapon, and that is laughter. Adam was but human, this explains it all. He did not want the apple for the apple's sake, he wanted it only because it was forbidden. The mistake was in not forbidding the serpent, then he would have eaten the serpent. The Bible has noble poetry in it, and some good morals and a wealth of obscenity, and upwards of 1,000 lies. The dog is a gentleman, I hope to go to his heaven not man's. Giving up smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I know because I've done it thousands of times. If voting made any difference they wouldn't let us do it. I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which never happened. There is a charm about the forbidden that makes it unspeakably desirable. Eat a live frog first thing in the morning and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day. Of all God's creatures, there is only one that cannot be made slave of the leash. That one is the cat. If man could be crossed with the cat it would improve the man, but it would deteriorate the cat. Reality can be beaten with enough imagination. I have a higher and grander standard of principle than George Washington. He could not lie. I can, but I won't. There are many humorous things in the world, among them, the white man's notion that he is less savage than the other savages,